Hi guys, so I'm logged into Reading A to Z and I happen to be logged in under Anasia's account, just as an example. So I'm seeing this from a student's point of view. When I log in, it tells me how many times they've listened to a story, how many times they've read the story, whether or not they've completed any quizzes, and whether or not they've done any writing assignments, and then whether or not they've done other activities like play the vocabulary games, how many they completed. And I think what's happening is you guys are logging in and you're listening to the story, but nobody's making the effort. And I shouldn't say nobody because I need to look at all the accounts, but a lot of the kids are not reading the stories. They're just listening to the stories, which is fine, but you should also be practicing reading the stories every day to a brother or a sister or a mom or a dad or an uncle or a grandparent or an aunt or whoever is around to listen. They should be practicing actually reading the assignment, so that when I log in, I should also see that there were a couple of attempts to have read the assignment, okay? And then when you actually click on your assignments, sorry, hold on, I have to remember how to do this. Let's say I go to reading. I can click on level up, and Anasia's reading at a level K, and we want her to work towards reading at a level L. So this gives you a bunch of different books to practice that are on the same level or the next level. So I highly encourage you to go in and read other stories, listen to other stories. You can also do similar things with Tumble Books, but this is actually on their level. Not required, but encouraged. You can also click on assignment, and it takes them to their assignments. So here, she's turned in some things and other things are not turned in, and it's showing as past due. And I have to figure out, because part of this is my problem, when I'm assigning things, whether or not the quizzes and things are actually getting assigned. So for example, if I click on single assignments, these are book related assignments, and then I come down here and I find, okay, these are the stories that have been assigned in the last 4 weeks. So here, she's listened to this story. This is the story for this week, which, by the way, we're talking about tomorrow, so she needs to make sure she listens to it. This is the story from last week, and she hasn't touched it, okay, which is a problem. This is a story from the second week, or the first week, I can't remember. And she's listened to it, but she hasn't read it, and she hasn't taken the quiz. So I need to go back in and reassign the quiz. If you can't see or click on the item, then I did something wrong on my end, and that's my fault. But she should be able to click on the question mark, and now there's a quiz, and it's like 5 questions, and then you're done. But it is part of your grade. So you need to make sure that you go in, answer the questions, and hit done. And you can hit next to go to the next question. You can hit back if you missed something or you want to go back to it. It's super, super simple, really easy, but they need to make sure they're doing the quizzes. The same thing with vocabulary. Excuse me. For example, if I clicked on Lola the llama, and there were vocabulary words assigned to Lola the llama, there's your vocabulary words that everybody tells me they can't find. They're here. And then they have a choice of all these different practice games they can play. And remember, I can see which ones you've played and that you took the time to practice them. And then on the side, it says vocabulary quiz. And they need to be clicking on the vocabulary quiz, and it says test me. I don't want to actually run through this because I want Anasia to do it, and I want it to be her work, okay? But everybody needs to be doing that at the end of each week. So my suggestion is since I take the time Monday to create the assignments, and you guys don't have things that are posted for the current week on a Monday because I'm sitting there creating and assigning and doing all the planning, that every Monday would be like your Friday. So if you are starting your work on Tuesday, then the following Monday, while I am creating the new assignments and sending them out, you should be going in and taking these quizzes. Okay? And then the other thing I wanted to show you is that I am checking assignments, and it will tell me, hey, this student is missing the assignment. They haven't submitted it. Or, let me see, Jonathan did his, I think. His are done really, really well. I can tell that he made an effort to fill in all of the different things that I wanted him to fill in. And you guys can use your tools up here as well to like circle the parts of speech or include a picture. So this is an example of something that was done really, really well, and all of his slides are complete. And he took his quiz, and he played at least 3 vocabulary games. So he, for that week, is getting 100% on his work. And I can now go in and leave him a I can go in and leave him a comment and say, great job, Jonathan. And then I will return it to him so that he can view the comments. And I'm doing the same for everybody that has turned in work to me. And if they have not turned in work to me, I'm just sending you a note that says, hey, reminder, you need to send in your work if you haven't printed it and emailed it to me or completed it this way online. Okay? Don't forget that these things have to be done in order for me to give you a complete grade. If you submitted part of the work, or I could tell that you were making an effort in Kids A to Z where you practiced the words and you listened to the story, but you didn't necessarily complete the assignments, I'm still giving it 70 or an 80%, depending on the amount of things that were done. And then this is just an interim grade, so I can change those grades. If you go back and complete work that was late or not finished, or you didn't realize you had to take a quiz, then I can go back in and change your grade and have it be 100% instead of an 80% or a 70%. And the other thing is, I gave credit to people if I knew that I'd been talking to your parents and you had done work at home and maybe just not submitted things. So I need to make sure that you guys are turning things in and not just working on them. Otherwise, you won't get full credit for it, okay? I hope everyone's having a good night, and I will check in with you tomorrow.